Whether you're someone who's thinking about starting your YouTube channel finally, or you've built one, but you're struggling to find the momentum again, and you're feeling like it's been pretty dead lately, I've seen it on my channel, and I've seen it on a lot of other people's channels as well. So today, let me give you a real behind the scenes of what a small channel that's been around for a year and a half, I've been posting consistently one video every single week, looks like analytics wise. And I know these things aren't that important, but I just want to show you what you can expect. Essentially, I started posting my first 3 videos over here. It was a spur of the moment decision, January 2024. I just posted 3 random videos. You can see it got a little bit of views here, and then I just stopped posting. I ghosted my channel and it flatlined completely until I finally had a bit more thought into this whole process and posted again August 2024. And then from then onwards, I posted one video every single week, and you can see it started off with very little views. And then we had one video that really picked up, and it was like a MacBook unboxing video, and it was kind of a fluke, and it kind of pushed my channel up this little trajectory. And then my channel's been kind of riding on that wave of posting consistently and having a few videos do really well until I found a groove and a niche of consistently posting things about like freelancing, design, how to make a living doing what you love, more business type content, the practicalities of how to set up templates, how to do sales calls. And it got pretty niche, which is where I found that it dipped quite a bit and then started to stagnate quite a lot. And that is something that you might see as part of your journey, or you might not have expected. I think if you've watched a lot of videos like this, you probably expect kind of like this hockey curve where in the beginning it's really slow, and then you slowly pick up momentum and when you go up from there. And that can take like years. Like Diary of a CEO's channel, Ali Abdal's channel, all of them said that they barely had any views to begin with, and then a few years in, a video took off and it took off and everything just catapulted from there. But this process can look different for a lot of different people as well. Like you can see, mine is not a hockey stick curve. It was kind of flat, and then it got a little bit of spike, and then it started dipping, and then it started reaching like this consistent baseline, which isn't bad. Like if you go into it, it's still some steady couple hundred views. But I think what you need to do is set expectations low, and when unexpected things happen, you're celebrating it, but not to kind of keep that same desire for every single video, because you will unfortunately be disappointed. And my suggestion is just to stay in love with the medium of the idea of posting videos, building yourself an archive of sharing your ideas. I think that's the most important part. But you can see I've managed to garner quite a lot of views, almost 500,000, and I don't look at these statistics often because I feel like it does sometimes feel defeating when you're seeing like the arrows go down, we're seeing like views go down, subscribers go down. But when you zoom out to look at the bigger picture, you do see like this is quite impactful. Like I've gotten almost 500,000 views. There's 18,000 watch time accumulated by people that's watching things on my channel, and we've got 4.6 thousand of you guys subscribed, and I made almost $1,000, and that's USD, as a YouTube partner. And this is a year and a half in. And I think even for me, like this, I think my channel is pretty average, pretty standard. There's not much like viral natured content. So I think this is very realistic. It's just like talking head videos, me talking through topics that I'm passionate about and I think can help like freelancers and creatives out there. So what is hard at the moment? Because I've seen a lot of small channels that used to get maybe a couple thousand views here or there, starting to get like 200, 100, 300 views. And that is the same for my channel. And I'm not an algorithm expert, so I don't really know, but what I can touch on is kind of like psychology of how it impacts you and how I'm planning on continuing regardless. And the first thing is acknowledging that the hardest part of being a creator, it is the silence. And the silence is what can be deafening, because you kind of feel silly when you spend so much time putting together a script, all these ideas, filming it, editing it, figuring out the thumbnails, the descriptions, everything. You post it out there and you only get like 50 views or 100 views, and you feel like it's disproportionate, the time invested and the reward, and that can be defeating and just cause you to give up. But what really helps is understanding that for a lot of us, YouTube itself might not be like the goal. Maybe most of us don't wake up in the morning and be like, I want to film a video today, I want to post a video today, but it's kind of the opportunities that it brings and the sense of fulfillment that it brings. And for a lot of us, maybe YouTube is something that you want to be part of contributing to your life, whether it's in terms of financially becoming a YouTube partner, so you can say goodbye to your 9 to 5, you can build an audience around what it is that you genuinely love. And for me, that is like teaching people how to freelance, how to design. I've built a design studio with just myself for the longest time, and then last year I hired another designer to work with me. We've been almost hitting $200,000 this year, and it feels like a freedom career until there's too many clients and the weight of it is a bit crushing. And that is what I've realized, is that in the beginning it's great to start freelancing, do one-on-one services, high ticket, and then your soul kind of craves something that is a little bit more different. Like I've felt drawn towards doing speaking engagements, like going to universities and being like a guest speaker and talking about my experience to connect with other freelancers on showing them how I got to where I am now. 7 years ago, I just started, and then speaking to the people who are just in the beginning of the journey and showing them what is possible has been hugely fulfilling to me. And so YouTube is a way of me reaching people just like you guys, and for me to kind of share and impart a bit of my experience and feel like I'm making somewhat of a difference and not just serving clients endlessly on a grind. And that I find is kind of the trajectory of a freedom solopreneur. Is you do one-on-one services, you get yourself out of that 9 to 5, you work for yourself, you have good clients, you start charging more, and then you get more clients, you start burning out. So what you want to do is kind of build passive income streams, and YouTube is a really great way of kind of productizing yourself. You film this video and it'll last years and decades down the line. As long as YouTube doesn't, crash and burn as a platform itself, this content will live on and you can continue to kind of make a difference in people's lives without you having to do anything. And I love teaching. I used to be a tutor back in first year uni. I used to teach kids, and it is amazing, like talking people through the journey of where they are and then seeing them grow and improve. And I now work with a handful of other freelancers on a weekly capacity, and just to they just pick my brain on what to do. I just got a new client inquiry, how do I go about it? I share with them all the systems and templates of my business. I walk them through how to think about pricing, how to handle different conversations, and it is genuinely fun for me, rather than always kind of on the grind of going through delivering things, shipping products, meeting deadlines. It is really refreshing, and this way I can actually cherry pick the clients that I really want to work with and feel like I have these two simultaneous parts of my business running. So I have that stability in one hand and also fulfillment in the other. I think this is probably the dream of most creative solopreneurs out here on YouTube. A lot of us, we're not film creators, we're not people who's obsessed with video editing. In fact, video editing is probably the hardest part of this journey, which is why I suggest in the beginning, figure out the style that you want, and you can experiment and play around with editing your first couple of videos. And then what I did was I outsourced it. And Ali Abdal said that is probably the most important part of starting a YouTube channel, is outsourcing the parts that really drain your energy, your creativity, and focus on the parts that you do enjoy. For me, I genuinely like sharing these ideas, filming it, but editing it is quite tedious for me because I really zoom in on so much of the tiny details. But I edited the first 30 or 40 of my videos, and it took up so much time a week. But now, thankfully, my designer that works full-time at our studio, she actually studied media production, so she's a really great video editor, and she actually enjoys it probably a lot more than I do. So she handles all the video editing, and that is another thing that keeps me motivated to keep going, is so that I can film these videos for her to go ahead and edit and create a beautiful finished product at the end of it. And it takes so much pressure and stress off my shoulders, and it feels like a nice team effort. And because she is also a junior designer, I hope that she can kind of find these videos interesting too, give me some feedback, and also learn from them. So in a way, it's creating this kind of little virtuous cycle for yourself, instead of being oh my god, I need to film another video, oh my god, is it gonna get views, oh my god, worrying. Be excited for the next video that you put out there. And the thing is, when it feels like it's hard to grow, what you need to realize is the algorithm is going to naturally favor people who have been on the platform for longer, who have a bigger audience. And that is just a reality. If you've been on this platform for 10 years, you've accumulated so much more people, and they come back to your channel, they know you, they build that know, like, and trust factor. So don't fall into the trap of comparing your chapter 1 or chapter 2 to someone's chapter 24. That is just not how it works. The thing is that visibility, it compounds. One person watches a video, then 2 person, and they might recommend or share your video to someone else. And eventually it will be more like a flywheel, where you put so much effort in the beginning, and then later on it feels a little bit more seamless. But then as you can see with my channel, that is not always the case. But I feel like I'm still at the very beginning of the hockey curve. I just had like a little lucky bump, and now it's still putting in that daily effort and to bank on consistency and the quantity of putting one out there every single week. Of course, try to keep quality as high as you possibly can. But remember Parkinson's law? I think that's one of like the coolest theories in the world, is that a task, it always somehow takes up the exact amount of time that you allow it to. So if you give yourself 2 hours to film a video, it'll probably take 2 hours or more. If you give yourself 5 days to do a video, it'll probably take 5 days or more. So I give myself always like a deadline, and I say, today, I only have today between 12 o'clock and 3 p.m. to film this video. If I'm not getting it done, I'm like meeting up with a client afterwards, so I have no time. So I have to get it done in this slot of time, and it really helps just take you from like thinking mode to doing mode. Once you're in that state of mind, everything just becomes naturally a bit easier. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one, you can actually join my upcoming 10K month masterclass. This is especially for like freelancers, if you're creative, a designer, copywriter, videographer. We have all of these types of students in our course community. We meet up once every single week, and it is generally so much fun. And I give you guys all of my templates in terms of invoices, in terms of proposals, sales decks, and I also show you how to turn one-off projects into recurring design subscriptions, because that is how I'm able to get to 15K a month and almost to 200K this year. And it is going to be something that really changes the game for you as a service provider. But later on, I'm sure you probably want to dabble into creating community for yourself, building a YouTube channel, and being able to explore all of your different passions while helping other people. And this is what YouTube is for. And if it feels hard, it will. Like, that is the truth. It's always going to feel hard, but you just got to ask yourself, is this worth it? And if I look back like 10 years later, will I be glad that I stuck to it, or will I regret not posting my first video or giving up on the second? Take care. And if you love this video, I think you'll also find this one on the left really, really helpful. And if you prefer listening on the go, let's have a podcast version called The Brand Creator. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.